Hello my treasures, it's time to embrace the madness of Menagerie, a weapon warrior. This deck was inspired by the fact that a lot of the weapon support that exists in standard Hearthstone, such as Sword Eater or Black Scale Brute, actually have a variety of different tribes, which means you can easily combine the ideas of Menagerie Warrior with Weapon Warrior. And while this isn't the best deck in the world, you'll be shocked about how consistent it actually is. Now, for the Mulligan guide of deck, you are going to be looking for a weapon. This could be any of the weapons that are actually in the deck, such as a Jarran Trident, or Sword Eater that acts as a weapon and a minion on board. Outside of this, you are going to be looking for early game minions such as Razorfin Rockstar or early game removal tools such as Bash. And the last type of card that you might keep in your opening hand, depending what the matchup actually is Blackrock and Roll, Brawl, or Lady Ashvane. If you see a Lady Ashvane or Blackrock and Roll and you know it's going to be a slower matchup, then you're always going to want to keep it in your opening hand. However, if you know your opponent is going to swarm the board, a Brawl can honestly be one of the best cards to keep in your opening hand in that case. Now, with that all being said, let's look at some games. Ooh, Death Knight. Probably going to be Blood, because that's the only Death Knight deck I've been facing. No, Frost. Frost has existed a little bit too. Oh, this opening hand looks horrible. Keeping Brawl is probably the only thing we want to keep. I know both DK decks could swarm the board. Claws is one of those cards that I've almost cut out of the deck multiple times. Also, one of the reasons why I think a 30 card version would probably work. If you cut out the draw power from that and then some of the other cards. Alright, I'm just going to hero power and then pass it back. Oh, that is a good card for next turn. And then we can just kill the minion, pulling that out next. Not too worried about anything that I can put down. We're early on in the game that even skipping turn 5 is fine. Voone. I mean, out of all the cards that we possibly could have drawn, Voone isn't bad necessarily. It's just bad for right now. It doesn't really do anything. Yeah. Good night, Reaper. Ooh. Also, probably shouldn't attack with this, but I know I'm definitely going to. Oh, Ashvane. Hey, you're finally going to come up in a game. Actually, you know, if you can slam her down early enough, and because we do have 6 weapons in the deck, it actually, she isn't a bad card. She costs a little bit too much for what she needs, but honestly, not the worst card in the entire deck. Card to the left of her is probably the worst card in the entire deck. Actually, the card to the very, very left of her is probably bad too. Then we can just slam that. You know, the inspiration behind this deck was the fact that Ashvane looks like she might be beating a drum or something. That's really the main reason why. Of course, we got one of the Trench Stalkers killed. But that is way funnier than a Trench Stalker. I mean, not yet, but in the future it is. Now, if only we had ways to duplicate some of these battle cries. I kind of understand why Bran isn't a thing right now. There are some very special battle cries that could make Bran really, really annoying from this set. Or not even battle cries. Blackrock and Roll is just broken as hell. Also, Reno can't exist in the same world as the 5-drop from Death Knight, because we don't want to be giving someone a 77 for free. Okay, we have no weapon. Let's draw a card. 26-26. We don't even have to fear a patchwork because they already played one. I thought about duplicating just the amalgam. I don't think that's a really smart play, but we could have. We might actually do it next turn. Yeah, that is why we can't have Reno in standard. I actually wonder if that combo is a thing in Wild. I'm assuming it isn't. It is a bit wild though that that card can basically give you what? It's at 7 mana, it's a 13-16 with 3 individual bodies, making it a little bit harder to actually deal with. Let's just pop it. I'm not dealing with that next turn. And then we can put down one of the amalgams and then put down the other amalgam, seeing if we can get. This allows us to cycle through the deck. The other two, Tony, we do not want in this deck. Tony would backfire so hard if we used it.
spell Menagerie.
Honestly speaking, though, this deck performed way better than I expected it to. Oh, that's always fun. Let's see if there's anything at the bottom. We could also do the amalgams. I think we're... I wish I saved Voone for that. That would have been so nice. We can shuffle this into the deck. We get the Trench Stalker no matter what. We use Brawl to get rid of all the minions, or at least all but one. So our Trench Stalker always hits face. Oh man, our luck here. Okay. Now, do they have a way to get rid of this minion? They're going to get asphyxiate here, aren't they? No, Howling Blast. That doesn't necessarily do what I thought it was going to do, but that's pretty close. Oh, we can't use one of the stalkers, but we can use Amalgam Band. Or we could draw a card. Man, these minions are huge. Vampiric Blood. That's what, number 3? Number 4. Oh, okay. Okay, so they have 4 minions on board. Probably not going to put down a stalker. We can grab something from the bottom. Going for Trident, because Trident is actually pretty useful. And then we can destroy 2. We actually probably shouldn't attack. Oh, no, it doesn't even have stealth. If it had stealth, we probably shouldn't attack with it. It doesn't, so. And it doesn't even have lifesteal. That's kind of a shame. Or, wait, how many? Of course. I mean, waste it now so we don't have to deal with it later. You're at 60 HP. Now let's slam down the weapon. Go face. Slam this down. Come on, give us something cool. I mean, we can attack once. Yeah, here we shouldn't have attacked. We should have just left it on the board because they don't have asphyxiate. Because right now they could, in theory, still get rid of it. It's going to be incredibly hard for them to. How many vampiric bloods do you got? Well, I mean, what are the chances they have a second one, right? Last stand grabs. Oh, Gorger is funny, but let's just do some face damage. Oh, we're so close. So close. If this was versus any other deck, they would have been dead there. Oh, here goes Soul Stealer number 2. We're at 10. We need math. We need math. We're at 5 attack here. Draw a bunch. Okay, I can make this work. Oh, don't think the brute is really necessary, but we could use it. Let's put this down. Put this. Gain some armor. Might as well go for the amalgam. Then put down the weapon and then pass it back. Even if they can answer this, we... it's just an endless conga line of huge dudes. They be thinking. I'm curious if they have any answers left. Corpse explosion, maybe? Ooh, asphyxiate from this would be bad. Done well. I don't think that's going to end well for you. Okay, time for a game against Druid. Oh, let's see what they have in store for us. I'm assuming it's probably going to be hero power, but you never know. Oh, we do have 2 weapons, so we're probably going to want to keep the woodland axe and then nothing else. Good old 1 amalgam band. I hate seeing it in my open hand. Okay, free spirit, so it is weapon. I mean, hero power. Okay, we're going to coin out the weapon, I'm pretty sure here, just to get rid of the minion, and then we can buff up whatever minion that we do actually put down next turn. Here's Groovy Cat, Trench Stalker. It doesn't matter what deck I'm playing, if it's a big beastie and it's in the deck, it's glued to my hand. Oh, I'm still using Party Animal. That was a card that I ended up cutting out for the Lava Gorgers. It made the last stands a little bit less consistent. However, it did help with the survivability issues the deck had. So it was actually a pretty good trade-off. Party Animals was really just a leftover from the more aggro variant of this. Okay, let's just hero power and then pass it back. There are times where I wonder why I'm running big minions in a deck, and games like this is exactly why. I might love big minions, but I always get screwed over them. What do we want to do here? We could put down Hook Fist, hack their face. That will give us some armor. See what we can grab. Anything cool? Let's go with Mistake. Mistake might be a mistake, but I think it's still probably a pretty good card to generate here because we do have the Amalgam Band in our opening hand, or still in our hand. I could be a little bit wrong about that, but I've made worse decisions. So they got us down to 5 armor, or 0 armor. We can hit this, do 3, use Shield Slam, probably not attack, with our hero at least. Come on, and might as well grab the Starfish. The Starfish could be the best case here. And we can use Mistake, and now we're at what? At least 5 on all Amalgam, which is pretty good. Could be worse. Could be definitely worse. Groovy Cat, number 2. Free Spirit. Could also silence everything here too. That's the other reason I grabbed the Starfish. Because if they revive everything and then we silence it, they don't get any advantage out of it. And we don't have to deal with them having a huge hero power. Voone. Our hand isn't empty enough for Voone. Do 3 damage to the entire board if we do attack. I kind of just want to go face, and then we could, in theory, see what we can grab here. Come on. Ooh, Poisonous is always fun. We pop 2. Oh, we even got a heal. That's great. The card is very annoying to see because sometimes the tooltip just goes off of the page and you can't actually read everything it has. And because Poisonous and Lifesteal overlap with each other, it just do process. Okay. He did revive everything, which is great for us because we can just silence it. He did get rid of that. That's a shame. Okay, we're going to go face. Oh, I misplayed so bad there. I should have silenced everything. That was my mistake. Hopefully it doesn't backfire too bad. Ooh, Sword Eater's fun. And we get our weapon back. Then we just pass the turn back. If we still have Party Animal in this list, I wonder if I'm even using Blackrock. I think I was. I think in the 40 card version I always used it. It was just Lor'themar that I ended up not. Oh, huh. I guess we have the Starfish number for this round. Okay. Do we want to... The fact that they can get up to a 9 attack right now is really annoying. Oh, hey, Nelly. Oh, there goes Ashvane. I mean, she's not really necessary for the deck to work, but I really did want to showcase her. I've been wanting to showcase her for so long. It's just... she costs a little bit too much. Easy fix to her. Make her a 3-drop. Like 3/3, and then people would probably use her. I don't know if they'd buff her up for that. It would be interesting if they did. Or just make her affect an aura effect. Like rest of the game, your weapons have +1/+1. Because we don't have Brand anymore, so they don't have to be real careful with her. I'm trying to think of any way to duplicate her in Warrior, and Warrior does not have that many ways to duplicate minions. Unless they have a tribal tag, and she doesn't, so unless they decide to add Faceless as a tag. Crunch Stalker, Sword Eater gets burnt. Actually, out of all the cards it could burn, that's probably one of the better ones for us. Let's kill that. Armor up. Just go face. I have a feeling we really need to race face. Because if they are a jailer variant... Oh, okay, okay, that's an interesting win con to go for. Especially if they're not doing jailer. That's interesting. I mean, that's anti-synergistic with jailer, but... I'm pretty sure they would just win if they actually were going for jailer instead of they're going for. I could be wrong. Funny that they buffed that. Interesting. Okay. So, how do we want to do this? We can use Drum Kit. We could also use Trench Stalker. But do we really want to use Trench Stalker? Because that could, in theory, hit the 6/6. How many cards do they have?
I'm almost out of cards. I'm out of cards.
Okay, so they got them all in the hand. But how are they going to trigger them all? Okay, Mosher. That's not going to do what you need it to. I mean, it clears everything, don't get me wrong. Okay, they're at 15. We have 3 on board. They're drawing 4 next turn. Okay, how do we want to do this? Because if we attack, then we could use Trench Stalker. If it hits their face, we win. But if it doesn't hit their face, we don't win. Bash, I think, helps out. That puts them at 9. And then they draw 3 or 4. Yes, I went for the Stalker. Okay. I mean, that does clear out the board. They're drawing 3. Oh, never mind. They give up. Okay, time for a game against Priest. I like seeing Blackrock and roll. Especially because I know this is probably going to be a slower matchup. Oh shit, it's Shadow. Okay, this isn't going to be a slower matchup. This actually might be a big mistake here. Or they're not going to have anything to put down. We can just Hero Power, I guess. We could also use Bash, or actually Amalgam of the Deep is fine to put down. It's a little bit board pressure. They shouldn't have a way to deal 3 damage. I know they have ways to deal 2. They're going to coin something out. What can they coin out that would be? That isn't coin worthy in my opinion. Like, there's a lot better things that you could have saved that coin for. Just going to kill that and go face. Did buff up a card in their hand though. That is something to watch out for in the nearby future. We're probably going to use Sword Eater next turn, I'm assuming. Grave Digging. Oh, I guess to get that online, you probably would maybe coin that out previous turn. And they're just going to revive it anyway, so don't know if that was worth it, to be honest. At least in my opinion, it wasn't really that worth it. Okay, so next turn, we double everything's stat line. Oh, not really double, but you know what I mean. It's essentially double for a lot of these minions. Right, so they're going to get that back. Is that an undead minion? I thought that only revived undeads. I was pretty sure that wasn't an undead. Oh, actually, I get it. It was possessed in their hand. Never mind. Never mind. I thought I thought they got a minion that was an undead out off of that, and I was like, maybe there's some other decks that we could try out there. I already have a plan for, I think, next Monday's vid. Let's gain some armor. Kind of want to go for Last Stand, but we're going to probably go for Hook, just because I want to gain some armor, or more armor. Since I am a little bit worried in this matchup if we have enough survivability. The Lava Stalkers or Gorgers were actually a really nice inclusion in the list. Honestly, over the Black Scaled Nagas, you could run the Naga Giants instead. Then you could gain 20 armor off of that, which is incredibly funny. I don't know how often you're going to be able to play those cards, but you could maybe do that instead. And then you have a little bit more consistency on what Last Stand draws you. Might be worth trying out. Might not be. First Hook Fist. Let's see what we grab. Always nice to see something that big. And then we're probably going to want to kill one of these just to get rid of it. Since it is an undead minion, we don't have to worry about them doubling it up. We are not in a good position. This game, we are not anywhere near where I want to be. Mind shoot. I can't believe they actually were able to get through that. Okay, we're at 5 HP. I'm going to draw a few cards, see if we can get anything cool. Bash, Trench Stalker. Oh, Trench Stalker is such a good card. Not for this turn, but next turn. I think we do have to put down a weapon though. Okay, we're gonna have to put down the weapon. Then Bash, I guess, and attack. We just have to hope they don't have 6 damage. 6 damage kills us. And then we have to use Gorger, I think, next turn and Hook Fist. Because depending on what's at the bottom of the deck, we might heal for a bunch. We might not heal for a bunch. Hook Fist will automatically get us 6 or 4. We're at 4. Okay. Voone. Not what we need to. Oh, thank you, Amalgam Ban. I've never been happier to see you, my friend. Okay. We are at 9 HP. We're at 6 for Amalgam Ban. Okay, so we can be greedy next turn, or we could not be greedy. I kind of want to not be greedy, because if we can heal with Amalgam Ban, then we're in a good position. But if we were greedy, we could have used maybe Voone and then get another Amalgam. The problem with this deck is you don't really have any mana cheat. Audio Amplifier was actually something I almost considered running in the deck. You could also use Trench Stalker just to clear out everything. I don't think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to play a little bit safe with Amalgam Ban. By safe, I mean if we get a Lifesteal and Rush, we win. Like, there's not much Shadow Priest can actually do against that. Now, the problem is actually getting both of those. And it does have 6, so we do have a high likelihood. I think there's only like 8-ish thing. Oh. Ashvane, I don't need you right now. Come on, Lifesteal. I can't tell if that has Lifesteal, but it does not have Rush on it, so we don't have that either. Okay. At least it has Wind Fury. So that's 26. I think they're probably going to have to Astalor here. And depending on how this hits, we might be dead. They have 9 on board. They have 2 mana. So we're down to 2 HP, but we're actually in a good position. As weird as that's going to sound, is they can attack. We're going to hit their face first. Also, I just realized I'm going to make a little bit of a misplay, but it literally can't backfire. And the ban must play on, I guess. Yeah, we could have just hit their face with that, but Trench Stalker is a lot funnier. We're out of the trenches here, boys. Alright, now that we're through the games, let's discuss my final thoughts of the deck. The deck ended up surprising me of how well it actually felt and how consistent it actually felt. However, it did end up with a 45% win rate across the 30 games that I did play. Some of that is due to the fact that I am using some cards that aren't really that optimal. The greatest example of this in the deck is Blackscale Brute. This card just really isn't worth 7 mana in most games. The other thing worth mentioning, because we are running a bunch of higher cost cards in the deck, I went with a 40 card version instead of a 30 card version. I briefly tested a 30 card version of the deck, however, trying to figure out what ratio between the weapon support and Menagerie support was the main hurdle I had with that deck. I was very limited on the amount of time that I actually had, so I figured going with a 40 card version probably would help my win rate quite a bit, and I was right. The coolest thing about this deck in particular, though, is the weapon support actually feels really consistent for what it actually is, and it's just a very unexplored deck style. Overall, this is probably not a deck that I want to recommend to you all actually trying out, unless you're really looking for a way to use Lady Ashvane in a deck like I have been for quite a long time. Now, with that all being said, if you enjoyed the video, please like, comment, subscribe. Until next time, bye-bye.